Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today we are talking about niches and how such a small decision in the design process can make such a big difference in the overall impact of the finished look. Now, you're thinking to yourself, what's a niche? I get it, not everybody knows it. Some people call it recess boxes, soap boxes. Some people use corner shelves instead of niches. Think about when you're going into your shower, where are you putting your shampoo? Where you put in your bar of soap. That is what we typically use a niche for. It goes into a wall, it's recessed into a wall so that you can put your things in there for when you're gonna take a shower. But the number one question is, how are we gonna finish this niche, right? Where's the niche gonna go? That is the most important thing you have to start with. And I say that because a lot of times people think that the niche is always gonna be an accent. And I'm here to tell you no. No, right? If you're going to put a niche, a recess box, in the smack dead center of the wall in the middle of your bathroom so that when you walk in, your eyes go right to that, then you need to make it a focal point. However, I always tell people this, if you're gonna do that, that's totally fine. I love it. There's some beautiful niche designs out there. Are you going to be putting aesthetic shampoo bottles in there? Or are you going to be putting a bright red Old Spice bottle or some other brand's bottle in there that's going to take away from that design? That's an important thing to consider. So we're going to get into the fine details of all of this niche talk right now. So up first, where are we putting the niche, right? If you have the opportunity to decide where the niche is going, sometimes you don't. I always recommend, let's hide it if we're not gonna put aesthetic shampoo bottles in there. And a knee wall is ideal, right? So it's still at a good height to grab your materials, your products, but it's also hidden from the visual of the design. Now, say you don't wanna do that and you do wanna do something exciting with the niche. All right, well, let's talk about creativity here, right? This is where it gets really important with the design of the niche. Are you gonna be putting it in a back wall everybody can see it? All right, are we going to be finishing it with something that's called a curb? Right, because you have to finish it. So imagine that goes back into the wall. We now have exposed edges on our tile. We need to finish that box out with something. The number one thing we're typically seeing used is what's called a curb or a jam piece. And that's going to finish all four sides of the niche. You can get in a solid surface material, which is really important for the bottom of the niche. Why do I say that? You're putting a shampoo bottle here, right? Shampoo or a body wash, or whatever it is, leaks out and it sits here. Super easy to clean, a solid surface material. If you want to tile the edges of your niche to match the rest of the wall tiles, that's fine too, but just know you're gonna have grout joints in the bottom of that niche where soap scum can sit and it becomes harder to clean. So think about that when you're considering the design. Say you don't want to jam it out. What are your other options? There's 5 ways to finish a niche. Number 1, we talked about curbs, jams. Number 2, next most common, is what's called a metal edge. So you can match your fixtures metal, you could try to blend it to say you have a white subway, you can pick a white metal edge so that you try to get it to disappear, and all that does is the tile will slip in to the side of it, and then you just see this little tiny bead here. It's a very clean look. Some people don't love metal edges. They think it's a little bit of a less expensive look in the design. Totally fine, I get it. So what's the option number 3? That's gonna be a pencil trim. You can do it in a chair rail, you can do it in any kind of a marble pencil trim. Sometimes your subways will actually have what's called a jolly, which is the same as the subway, but it's this little tiny rounded edge that can act as a finishing piece for finishing off your niche. So that's gonna be option 3, is a pencil trim. There's ways to do this to look really, really pretty. I'm a fan of that if you do wanna cap your niches that way. Option number 4, this is what most designers are asking to do today. Stipulation to it, the contractors hate it. And that is mitering the finish, right? So your wall tile comes in here, and then we have to go back. They 45-degree cut this edge and the other one 45 so that they come together to create a very seamless look in that transition. It is beautiful. It is a stunning way to finish a niche. It is very difficult from the installer's perspective to do all of that mitering depending on what the product is that they're working with. So keep that in mind. Option number 5, and far less common than anything, is actually leaving the exposed edge. I do not recommend this on a ceramic or a porcelain, but if you have a natural stone, much like the tumbled piece I'm holding here, and you want to leave the exposed edge of the natural stone, it can actually be a very cool look. Really good installers actually keep polish kits on site with them where they can actually cut the marble and finish the edges. I've had a few installers do that in really high-end projects. So you don't need trim pieces anywhere. They're actually finishing the marble on site. So those are a couple different ways to trim and cap your niche, right? So now we've talked about where's the niche going, how are we finishing the niche? What are some other interesting things that you can do with niche design? All right, huge thing that's already started and I think gonna become even more prevalent throughout the next couple of years is arches. People love arches. I love arches. I wanna do them in my own house. The architectural design of an arch is beautiful. Very difficult, again, from an installer's perspective, but don't let that stop you, all right? If you want it, it's the T&M category of what we do, right? It's time and money. It's gonna cost you more, it's gonna take them longer to do, but it's gonna make for a beautiful look. There's multiple different ways to finish an arch niche. I do think that it could be a really nice focal point. Now, when I'm talking about doing an arch niche, I want you to think about where does this make sense practically? If you're gonna put the shampoo bottles in it, and you're gonna block the beauty of that beautiful arch, whatever you end up putting in the back of that niche and spend money on, maybe we don't do it with an arch and spend all that kind of money. But if say we have a couple bathrooms, right? Your primary bathroom, you hid the niche in the knee wall, so nobody ever sees the shampoo. But you have a bathroom that's got a shower in it that doesn't frequently get used, where it might not be that inconvenient to put some aesthetic shampoo bottles in there. Maybe we do the arched niche there because we're gonna get that beauty, that architectural, the craftsmanship, but we don't necessarily have the issue of constantly having to swap shampoo that you bought at the store into an aesthetic bottle and maintenance and all those other things. So there's a ton of different ways that you can incorporate niche design into different elements of your home, but there's a lot of things to factor in, right? Practicality, in how am I finishing it? What's the overall look? What's the function of this bathroom aesthetically? Think about all these things. It's such a small detail, but the reason that we wanted to do this video is because we'll be in the middle of an appointment. People are having fun, they're picking out all these beautiful tiles, and then we get down to the point where we gotta pick the fine details, what we call grout, cap, and stone. You gotta finish out your jams. What grout colors are we doing? How are we laying the tile? You start to get into this decision fatigue that starts to take away the fun of the process. But if you go into this process already knowing how you like your niches done, snap decision, we're still having fun. So it's important to know the little details before you come in to make these selections so you can enjoy the whole process. So now you've learned everything you need to know about the niche. Ask us questions, put it in the comments. Have you ever seen a niche done this way? What do you think about doing a niche that way? We are happy to answer anything you have. We've done a million different versions of it, so I'm sure we can help you out with whatever questions you might have. Like, subscribe, follow. We appreciate your time and stay tuned for a lot more coming your way.